Chapter 561 Depressed to Vomit Blood. Looking at Fujino Ling, these two girls who are like the silly daughters of the landlord's family, many people plan to observe first, and then change their target. Even if they both have the scrolls they want. After all, less than an hour after the start of the match, there were already 12 people trapped in front of them. This is so weird. Oops, fortunately there is a right one. Fujino Ling looked at the purple-red fire pattern scroll in his hand, and Anmura Nobume looked at each other, showing a very happy look. Then they were hunted down. The person chasing them was Yun Ren. Jia, do you think you can run away if we are targeting you, Konoha guy? The three Yun Ren looked at the frightened faces of Fujino Ling and Anmura Nobume who fled with horrified faces, shouting loudly. Give it up, do you think you two can outrun our brothers? Hand over the scroll and we can spare your life. These three Yun ninjas kept attacking Fujino Ling and the two. But the two girls ignored them completely and just ran away. Moreover, what makes these three Yun Ren depressed is that they can't catch up with Fujino Ling. The distance between them is always 15 meters. In the end, the three Yun ninjas got tired and fell down. The two women are still not blushing, their hearts are not beating, and their breath is long. At this point, if the three Yun Ren didn't know that the two girls were playing with them, they would be really stupid. It's too bullying, there is such a strong chakra, why should you run away? Isn't it bad to defeat us in a head-to-head battle? What are you doing pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger? The three Yun Ren complained angrily. Slightly. But what they got was just a grimace from the two women. This kind of thing keeps happening. Gradually, nearly half of the people in the entire forest knew about the deeds of the two girls. And Yun Ren, who had the most hits, gave them the title of witch. These two people, like people who came in to swim in the mountains and waters, did not have the slightest awareness of the exam. But unfortunately, the two of them had gathered all the scrolls long ago, and they could pass. This made those ninjas who fought so hard, but made the two girls watch the fun, feel depressed and want to vomit blood. Don't play like this. Therefore, when the two women met with the Konoha village team, seeing that the two women had already passed the scroll, the eyes of the other Konoha village teams were all rounded. They haven't gathered together yet, and the two girls of Fujino Ling have gathered together. What's the situation? Why don't they know that Fujino Ling and the two girls still have this strength? Just ask. The two women replied, good luck, I picked it up. Well, this answer is even more irritating. They can pick it up, why can't they pick it up? Many Konoha ninjas feel that the two of them came in purely to irritate people. Then, the people who were stimulated immediately launched a frantic collection operation. And the two girls looked at each other with a wry smile and headed for the exit. In this dark forest, they have had enough of what to play. Time to go out too. Outside the arena. You two came out so soon, why don't you play inside for a while? Shajirching seems to be not surprised by the appearance of the two girls. In the black blonde winter, everyone is just trying to snatch the scrolls. It's boring, so they came out. Fujino Ling shrugged and said indifferently. And Anmura Nobume is Ruru Isho. Chapter 562 What a shame. Can't you watch other people's battles and know your opponents in advance? Shajirching sighed, very helpless. Oh, yes, that's okay. Upon hearing this, Fujino Ling immediately patted his forehead, as if he had just woken up from a dream. But it's a pity that you can't go in again when you come out. But the performance of the two of them made the rest of the shinobi village disbelieve. They never thought that the first people to come out would be Fujino Ling and the two. It's less than a day away. Especially when they heard that the two scrolls were picked up, many people felt depressed and wanted to vomit blood. So lucky, picked up a scroll, just what you wanted. Why don't those people in their ninja village have such good luck? Moreover, especially when they heard the two women say that it was fun inside, some people had already begun to doubt life. Feelings, it's okay if they pass so easily, they still play all the way. It's really human beings, it's maddening. Half a day later, when the two women were leaning on Shajir-Ching, one of them put their arms around Shajir-Ching, and slept sweetly. The second team came out. The Darui squad of Yunnan village. However, they look so much more normal. Exhausted, panting, tattered, a little weak in breath. Obviously, they fought all the way. We should be the first team. Darui handed the scroll to the examiner and asked casually. But the examiner replied, "No, you are the second team. The first team came out half a day ago." "What? Someone is earlier than us?" Hearing these words, Darui suddenly showed a look of disbelief. Then, they glanced away and saw the two daughters of Nobuomi Anmura, who were cuddling Shajir-Ching like cats. "Shouldn't you tell me that the first team is the two of them?" Darui just felt a little ridiculous. But the examiner nodded affirmatively, and upon hearing this, Darui instantly shut himself off. "It's a shame that they lost to two girls. But I'm very sorry, there are more people behind, who will be crushed by Anmura Nobume and the two." Therefore, when the latecomers kept coming out, when I heard that the first place turned out to be two girls, they all looked a little unsightly. 3 days later. It's exam time. Those who haven't come out will be considered eliminated. In this round, most of the people were eliminated. Among them, Konoha village was eliminated by 2 teams. 1 day off, the second round the day after tomorrow, please don't be late. When the examiner announced the next game, the villages of Ninja also returned to their residences one after another. But no exceptions. Everyone remembered the names of Anmura Nobumi and the 2 girls in their hearts. Remember the 2 girls who were on top of them and achieved the first result in the first round. The next round, but it has nothing to do with luck, you better pray that you don't run into me. A ninja from Yenian village said with a fierce face. Is it really just luck? Darui thought. He felt that Anmura Nobuomi and the 2 girls were not so simple. Perhaps, there may be something special about the 2 of them. Konoha village, a certain ninja thought so in his heart. In short, there are many people who have ideas for the 2 women. Moreover, they all want to see what kind of performance they will have in the next round of competition. There are a lot of people who are dissatisfied with you 2. I want you 2 to know how good they are. In Shajir-Ching's room, Shajir-Ching sat on the ground and said to the 2 of them. Chapter 563 2 Little Rich Women. Hey, just right for me. Fujino Ling actually showed a very excited look. This time, there are many powerful people, I really want to fight with them all once. Nobumi Yasunori is just VV Isho, no opinion. But in fact, this seemingly quieter Anmura Nobuomi is even more powerful. Next, Shajir-Ching roughly explained the situation to the 2 of them based on his own observation and understanding. The 2 listened very seriously, and there was no desertion. The next day, after the 2 women got Shajir-Ching's permission, they went shopping happily. Well, the hobby of shopping is really regardless of age, as long as it is a woman, it seems to have this preference. Shajir-Ching is naturally not interested in shopping, but he is also assured of their strength, so let them go crazy. Anyway, they have saved a lot of money this year, let them relax. On the street, the 2 women are like 2 magpies, roaming around various jewelry stores and clothing stores. The joy on his face could not be concealed at all. But after a while, the 2 of them already had big bags and small bags in their hands. But there is still no satisfaction on their faces. Still walking around. Not far away, there are other people from Shinobi village looking at the 2 of them, and they can't help showing envy. They thought, it's good to have a rich teacher, you can do whatever you want when you go shopping. Seeing the 2 women hanging around in various high-end shops, and seeing that they and the others can only satisfy their cravings in a small ramen restaurant by the roadside, I can't help feeling frustrated. Luck is not comparable to others, no matter how financial resources are not comparable to others. It's really someone else's child, it's just a little bit more powerful. And some female ninjas, looking at the expensive and exquisite jewelry, luxurious clothing, and the confident and high-spirited temperament of the two women, can't help but show a bleak color. It's really incomparable to others. The two women, as if they were two suns, were extremely dazzling. But after a while, on this street, the two girls became the most beautiful boys. There is no way, whoever let the two women have something in their hands, that's more than one. So much so that when the two of them returned to their residence, they directly scared Konoha's companion. "You two, do you have so much pocket money?" a ninja from the Hinata clan asked in disbelief. "Well, it's drizzling, it's just a small expenditure," Fujino Ling replied very happily. "Hi." A group of people looked at the two women, and their eyes were a little bit like that. If the money they buy is a drizzle, how much are their real assets? 1 million, or 2 million. Just the things they bought were worth nearly 100,000. It's too rich. Just two little rich women. I said you two, I'm too excited. I'm not afraid that your parents will talk about you after buying so much. Shajirching also saw what the two women bought, and couldn't help laughing bitterly. Don't be afraid, it's our own pocket money anyway, and it doesn't hurt to spend it. Fujino Ling Isho, the excitement in his eyes is still unabated. Well, compared with the two of them, the rest of Konoha are poor. The gap is too big, it's really shocking. The next day. The second round has begun. Ryo Fujino of Konoha, Nobumi Yasunora, show me the two of you. What if you have money? Here, the comparison is ultimately about strength. Fujino Ling and the two did not know that their happy consumption yesterday created a lot of enemies for them. There are many female ninjas. Chapter 564 We are the strongest. No way, compared with the two of them, all the other female ninjas seem so ordinary, even incompetent. Therefore, they will let Fujino Ling know today that they are amazing. They are no worse than Fujino Ling and the other two. Participating in the second round, there are 5 teams in Konoha Village, and the number is the largest. Followed by Yenian Village, 3. Then there are Yun Ninja and Sandian, and Taki Ninja Village, 2 each. The rest of the small ninja villages have only 1 team. The strength gap between the 5 major ninja villages and the rest of the ninja villages is just that big. But the remaining teams, without exception, are basically elites, and they are elites who have experienced the shadow of war. Therefore, they are more aggressive than those who grew up in peacetime. And the first game, unfortunately, Konoha Hyuga Feiyin vs Yunren Darui. Oh, the first one is Yunren Darui, it's interesting. When Shajirching heard the result, she couldn't help being a little surprised. Come on, Feiyin, we must defeat that guy, let them know how good we are, and see who is the weaker chicken. As soon as the show starts, there is a feeling of burning powder. Hearing the words of Hyuga Feiyin's companion, Shajirching couldn't help being a little surprised. Dare to Love, the team between these two has had conflicts before. Gia, I ran into Captain Darui. Konoha, surrender now, otherwise, don't blame us for not showing mercy. Before it even started, Yunren's ninja was already screaming. Humph, don't be complacent, Yunren's bastard, do you really think that your captain is omnipotent? Don't cry when you lose. Konoha is naturally not to be outdone, he responded and left, the smell of gunpowder is full. Go. In the field below, the referee gave an order, and the battle began. Hey! Darui drew his sword and rushed forward, the sword light flashed, and it was incomparable. This feeling seems a little familiar. Looking at Darui's aura, Shajirching couldn't help frowning. It seems that there is a little shadow of you. The voice of the 3 generations of Hokage suddenly came, answering Shajirching's doubts. Looking at it this way, it is indeed a bit. After being reminded by the 3 generations of Hokage, Shajirching realized this. Gia, this is our Lord Kurabi, who improved it according to the swordsmanship of your village Thunder Ninja Shajirching. Taste this omnipotent power. The young ninjas cheered on Darui excitedly one by one. HMPH, what if I learned from teacher Shajar Ching, I am not a persimmon. Bagua 64 palms. Hyuga Feiyan did not hide or avoid it, and went straight to it. Ding ding ding. I have to say that Hyuga Feiyan is very powerful, and Darui's sharp blade is completely helpless to him. Instead, he was forced to reveal several flaws. Such a Hyuga Feiyan couldn't help showing a more proud smile. The 8th diagram's field 128 palms. Hyuga Feiyan bullied him again and used the strongest move to suppress Darui. Okay. Konoha immediately burst into cheers. What's the matter, is this not going to work? Yun Ren. Looking at Darui, who only had the power to resist under his own 128 palms, Hyuga Feiyan couldn't help showing a ferocious look. Melee ability, their Hyuga clan must be the strongest. Chapter 565-566 pretending to fail to resist was beaten. Since Darui was suppressed by him, he naturally would not miss the opportunity to take advantage of his illness. He started to swim around Darui, heading towards the acupoints on his body. With his white eyes, this is definitely a powerful move that is enough to defeat. As expected of the ninjas of the Hyuga clan, they are amazing. Darui was struggling to deal with Hyuga Feiyan's series of attacks and said, his defense is airtight, but he is constantly being repelled. It seems that there is only resistance left. This scene shocked the Yun Ren people, and some couldn't believe it. Ha ha ha, what? Is this the strength of your Yun Ren? It's like a soft-footed shrimp. That's right, I really don't know where you guys got the courage to yell at us just now. Seeing this scene, the Konoha ninja sneered at once. But it seems that if you don't come up with some powerful tricks, you will lose to you. Darui's eyes suddenly lit up, no longer as lazy as before. His blades suddenly became faster and sharper. Baby, base. After blocking all of Hyuga Feiyan's attacks, he jumped up and slashed out a sword wave with thunder and lightning. Go back to heaven. Seeing this scene, Hyuga Feiyan hurriedly defended, spewing a huge amount of chakra from both hands, turning it into a huge circular shield to protect himself. Boom! This sword wave was not able to help Sunshang Feiyan, and it did not break open and return to the sky. After confronting Huishin for more than 10 seconds, they dispersed. But when Hyuga Feiyan immediately dispersed and returned to the sky to pursue Darui, he went to listen and said, the speed is too slow. Then, he opened his mouth and sprayed out a fan-shaped water wall, resisting Hyuga Feiyan. And at the same time lightning escape. Gratitude wave. The huge and complex thunder and lightning instantly enveloped Hyuga Feiyan. But Hyuga Feiyan did not lose his combat effectiveness just like that. He hurriedly broke free from the lightning and retreated, but Darui was already behind him. PFF'd. As the shining sword light passed by, Hyuga Feiyan's back splattered blood and fell to the ground. Darui's long knife rested on Hyuga Feiyan's neck and said, I won. The referee announced the result immediately. How is that possible? Hyuga Feiyan's teammates looked at this scene in disbelief. Can't believe it's true. It was completely calculated. Shajar Ching sighed and said. Yeah, 3 generations of Hokage agreed. From the very beginning, Hyuga Feiyan has been using Bagua Zhang continuously to attack Darui, consuming a lot of chakra. And Darui, except for the physical exhaustion, hardly consumes much. And that sword wave consumes a lot, but the chakra used by Hyuga Feiyan for defense is even more expensive. Therefore, after that, Hyuga Feiyan's speed will slow down and eventually lose. The second game, Yoshiji Iwagakura vs. Toshiro Sagakura. The second game is about to start. This time, the two people fighting against each other are big men, no exception, their fighting style is quite direct and violent. The two are masters of earth escape. The battle is called a rough, like 2 apes. In the end, Yoshiji Iwagakura came out ahead and won the game. Hit him, hit him. Yeah, hitting him there, That's awesome. And Fujino Ling, well, as an audience, she is absolutely qualified. It happens from time to cheer others up, with a look of excitement on his face, as if he has forgotten that he is also a contestant. Chapter 567. That's all there is to it. After Konoha Village lost the first game, the next battle was like pouring donamies. In the 6 games, only 2 of Konoha's 6 players won. The reason for winning is because their opponents are from Shounen Village and are not strong. This makes the face of the 3 generations of Hokage a little not good-looking. This is too shameless. Their dignified number 1 Ninja Village was far behind Union Village. 2 points for Konoha Village. Union Village 3 points. 2 points for Yenian Village. This kind of achievement is really embarrassing. Therefore, Yun Ninja and Iwa Ninja couldn't help but start mocking Konoha Ninja openly and secretly. Team Yun Ren, Yan Ren, this kind of feeling is so cool. Next game, Yun Ren Kayui vs Taki Ren K. A new battle begins. In Yun Ren's view, there is no problem with this battle. The opponent is Taki Ninja Village Ninja, it is impossible to lose. But Taki Ninja Village is really fighting hard this time. Yun Ninja is sure to lose this game. Shajirching suddenly spoke, causing everyone around him to be a little stunned. What did they hear? Shamuyang actually said that Yun Ren would lose. What an international joke. Will Yun Ren lose, just because of that unremarkable Taki Shinobi? Many people looked at the person in charge of Taki Shinobi, but saw that the man was closing his eyes and resting, with a mysterious smile on the corner of his mouth. This made everyone nervous for no reason. It seems that something is not right. HMPH, no matter what the hell you do, in front of absolute strength, everything is false. The person in charge of Yun Ren said this. The expression on his face was very excited and hideous. But the others couldn't help but look at the magpie in Taki Ninja Village. People like Shajirching will definitely not talk nonsense, so this magpie must have something special. But no matter how they looked at it, this magpie seemed to be quite ordinary. They didn't see anything different about magpies at all. But all this changed the moment the referee said it started. The battle lasted less than 10 seconds. Magpie, one punch solved the fight. As soon as no one else can react, the battle is over. Hi. The group of people couldn't help taking a deep breath, looking at Yun Ren who had rolled his eyes and passed out in a coma. He couldn't believe his eyes. When did Yun Ren become so weak? This magpie is worth noting. Many people thought so in their hearts, and their faces became solemn. The next game, Konoha Fujino vs. Sandian Village Mashi. Finally, it's Ryo Fujino's turn. She jumped down and entered the battlefield. Her opponent is also a woman, and she looks quite powerful. Because of the breath on her body, it is quite dangerous. It's finally time for you, Fujino Ling, let me see your strength, I hope you don't let me down. Mashi seems to have a lot of hostility towards Fujino Ling. At the beginning of the battle, a very powerful wind escape was used, which split the walls and the big trees in the field. Several times, Fujino Ling almost fell into a crisis of death. And Fujino Ling, in order to protect himself, constantly shoots Kue. But all of them were blown away under the wind of Mashi, and sparsely fell in various places. There is no kunai that can threaten Mashi. Fujino Ling, completely at a disadvantage. What's the matter, is the apprentice of the Thunder Ninja only so powerful? Looking at the embarrassed Fujino Ling, Mashi bullied himself with great pride and came forward, and slashed down the road. Chapter 568. What is the use of jealousy? Bang! Fujino Ling was forced to retreat directly to the corner of the wall. He seemed to be struggling to block the blow and asked, I really want to know, why are you so hostile to me? Hostility, ha ha ha, then I'll tell you. Mashi shouted excitedly, because of jealousy. I'm jealous that you have a good teacher like Shajirching. Without her, you are nothing. I'm jealous that you have so much pocket money, why do you deserve so much money? I'm also jealous that you have such a beautiful face, why don't I? The more Mashi spoke, the more excited she became, and the more she spoke, the harder she spoke, and gradually bent Fujino Ling's arm. Is that so? That's a really great opponent. Fujino Ling showed a clear look, and then said, although you are miserable, I will not sympathize with you. Happiness is earned by oneself, not something that can be obtained by complaining about others. Also, don't use the words of Mr. Sha Jurqing's students to deny my efforts and achievements. After speaking, she saw that she slowly countered Ma Shi. Her power was beyond Ma Zai's expectations. Seeing the bad situation, Ma Shi immediately withdrew. But she saw Fujino Ling smile. I saw Fujino Ling swipe his right foot on the ground, and then, as if hooking something, he pulled hard. Whoosh whoosh. In the air around Ma Shi, there was suddenly a very fast sound of breaking the air, and a slender film was seen, wrapping towards her in all directions. From all directions, from all kinds of tricky angles, there is absolutely no way to avoid it. No. Ma Zai's eyes widened in horror, but to no avail. The next moment, he was tied into a zongzi, and blood splashed. That extremely fast-moving movie viewing turned out to be a piece of steel wire. The end of the wire connects those kunai scattered everywhere. Turn the entire battlefield into a steel wire hell. I really want to thank you for your feng dun, otherwise, I really can't spread kunai all over the battlefield. Fujino Ling bowed to Mashi very politely, expressing his gratitude. But the contestants present could not help but show a solemn look. Ma Zai's strength is enough to make them pay attention. But Fujino Ling defeated her so easily. How strong is Fujino Ling's true strength? Let's just say that in this battle, every kunai appears in the right place. If this is not calculated, no one will believe it. But it is precisely because of this that Fujino Ling looks even more terrifying. In the face of a dangerous and deadly wind-escaping attack like Marcy's, she could still think calmly. And with the help of Ma Zai's wind escape, let Kuaidu reach exactly where she wants to go. How confident is she in her own strength? Everyone couldn't help but say in their hearts, as expected of Sha Jurqing's student, it's really scary. Kinoha Village Yasunami Nobuomi vs Iwagakura Ryoyoshi. The opponents of the next game are also out. Come on, Shinmei. Rei Fujino, who had a relaxed look on his face, encouraged Nobumi Anmura. The latter nodded easily. And because of Fujino Ling's battle just now, no one will underestimate Anmura Nobuomi anymore. Since it comes from the same school, the strength is not bad. Go. At the beginning, Ryoji, with a dignified face, slapped it on the ground with a seal, "Tu dun. Tu lu gun." Chapter 569. There is a price to pay for underestimating people. The next moment, a large piece of sharp earth spear swooped out from the feet of Anmura Nobuomi, and the forced Anmura Nobume immediately rushed forward and retreated. However, Ryoichi of Iwayan village had already been waiting for him at her place. With a ferocious look on his face, he charged back with his right arm to give Anmura Nobuomi a super powerful blow. He was confident that with this punch, Nobuomi Anmura would lose his combat effectiveness. One more punch after that and he can win the fight. It seems that we all think highly of her, thinking that she is as powerful as Fujino Ryo, but the result it's really disappointing. Yeah, I thought she could bring us some surprises, but as soon as she came up, she fell into a disadvantage. There was a sound of disappointment all around. But what is strange is that the faces of everyone in Konoha are a little strange. Doubt, puzzled. Yes, except for the 3 generations of Hokage, Sha Jurqing, and Fujino Ryo, everyone else has this expression. Since the ranking is higher than Fujino Ling, and he is also called the second Uchiha Itachi, will his strength be so poor? Uchiha Itachi is the second, meaning that the strength is only half a point behind Uchiha Itachi, and the gap is very small. They don't believe that Anmura Nobuomi, who has such a high evaluation, will be forced into a disadvantage like this. However, looking at the battle situation in front of them, they couldn't think of any way to get out of trouble. People are in the air, and there is nowhere to borrow. Moreover, that Ryoichi is already close at hand, and that punch is about to hit Nobumi Yasunori, and there is no chance of connecting with the seal. It's almost a dead end. The next moment, accompanied by a contemptuous smile on the corner of Fujino Ling's mouth, everyone saw Anmura Nobuomi's hand, and a black shadow flew out like lightning, and it stuck on Ryoichi's arm. The severe pain made Ryoji's movements sluggish a lot. And Anmura Nobuomi is as flexible and light as a dandelion. After dodging this punch, he lightly stepped on Ryoichi's arm, and flew out a kick, hitting Ryoichi's head hard. Bang! Ryoji was blasted out, but he was born in Yenian village and has super physical fitness. Anmura Nobuomi's blow did not affect his combat effectiveness. Damn woman, look how good I am. He slammed the knot and slapped the ground, Tuden. Ant hell. The ground that Anmura Nobuomi had just landed on suddenly softened and spun, turning into a vortex, trapping Anmura Nobuomi in it without giving any chance to react. Tuden. Upon seeing this, Ryoichi was about to seal the seal again, completely defeating Anmura Nobuomi. Ankyu Nobuomi raised her hand and thousands of books flew out, extremely fierce, interrupting his seal. He dodged immediately, only to see Anmura Nobuomi flying out with 3,000 copies. But it seems that because of poor technique, it can brush Ryoji's body without causing any damage to Ryoji at all. This scene, Ryoji couldn't help but laugh out loud, ha ha ha, what's the matter, Konoha guy, he can't beat him if he misses. Before the last word, I, was finished, he heard a sudden tinkling sound behind him. Then, a sharp pain suddenly hit from behind, making him scream. And Anmura Nobuomi flew out a shuriken and nailed it to the wall of the arena, connected to the steel wire and pulled it hard to break free. Then, a swoosh appeared directly in front of Ryoji, making people desperate quickly. You lost. It wasn't until the cold touch reminded Ryoichi that he reacted. And Anmura Nobuomi's 1,000 books have already touched his temple. Chapter 570 Konoha village is very depressed. Unexpectedly I didn't play seriously throughout the whole process. Only the last this time, I was serious. That kind of throwing technique is too scary. Seeing the result, everyone opened their mouths in surprise. What did they just see? Nobumi Yasura actually used the chinbun that was shot out from the back to hit the previous chinbun, allowing them to regain their momentum and injuring Ryoichi. Moreover, the sudden body twisting technique at the end told everyone that Nobuomi Anmura hadn't fought seriously before. After all, with this speed, the race is over. It's like playing. Is this the strength of Shajir-Ching's students? It's terrible. Everyone couldn't help but be shocked by Anmura Nobuomi's strength, and it was no less than Fujino Ling. Konoha has produced 2 amazing female ninjas. The eyes of other shinobi villages swept over Anmura Nobuomi and Fujino Ling frequently, and they all couldn't help but sigh. You defeated your opponent without using any ninjutsu at all. How strong is the use of ninjutsu? And those female ninjas present couldn't help feeling a deep sense of disparity and powerlessness in their hearts. The financial resources and background are not comparable. It seems that the strength is far behind. Fujino Ling and Anmura Nobuomi were so dazzling that they completely overshadowed them. Not to mention standing side by side with them, it seems that chasing them is not an easy task. Good job. When Nobuomi Anmura returned, Shajir-Ching praised her, and the latter was immediately happy, sweet Isho, and whispered to Fujino Ling. And the other ninjas in Konoha looked at her with completely different eyes. Only then did they understand why Anmura Nobuomi was ranked among the top 3 of Konoha's young generation, because Anmura Nobuomi was really strong. That Yenian village Ryoichi is actually quite powerful, and if they were to deal with Ryoichi, even if they could win, they would have to lose 800. It's impossible to do what Yasunami does, it's easy. The eyes of the 3 generations of Hokage are even more emotional. He did not expect Shajir-Ching to teach so much. Nobuomi Anmura and Ryo Fujino are really good, he is both happy and worried. The joy is that Konoha's face is bright. The best thing is that Shajirching is too good, but it is really difficult to control. How to treat Shajirching is a big problem. In the next battle, there is no Konoha's share. Although the level of splendid battles has always been high, there are few battles that amaze everyone. Among them, only the terracotta of Yenian village is an exception. He looks simple and honest, with a good face, but he defeated his opponent in 3 or 2 strokes, successfully advanced, and attracted attention. Days of Kurotoki points. All battles are over. In the 5 small ninja villages such as River Ninja Village, Grass Ninja Village, and Tang Ninja Village, basically only one person made the cut. Only the host, Taki Ninja Village, has advanced to 2. In the 5 major ninja villages, more than 3 people have advanced. And among them, the 2 of Konoha's Nobuomi Yasunora. Darui of Union Village, Kitu of Yenian Village, Magpie of Takanan Village, and Saruki of Sandian Village. The 6 of them are the most dazzling existence among all of them. Everyone is also looking forward to the last game 3 days later. The current score, Konoha's situation is not good, the score is 5. It is 1 point lower than Union Village and Yenian Village. Sand Hidden Village is 4 points. The rest of the small ninja villages are all 1 or 2 points. For the battle in 3 days, you don't need to help me, just play your respective standards with confidence. Shajirching looked at his 2 students and told them. Understood. Both women showed excitement, their eyes rumbling with fighting intent. Chapter 571 Unexpected. 3 days are coming soon. It's finally the last day. The ninjas in Union Village and Yenian Village were all excited. The score is higher than that of Konoha Village, they didn't expect it. But it's a good thing. Since there are advantages, then we must continue to carry forward. And this last round, the promotion rules are different. It's a ring system. That is, the winner will always stay in the field to fight. The first game, Yunren Mayu vs. Taki Shinobi Village Magpie. The first scene is the Magpie of the Man of the Year. Taki Ninja Village, Magpie wins. But the result of this first battle made the people of Union Village a little confused. They actually lost. That woman is so powerful. Originally, even if Darui and Kitu were side by side, they belong to the famous people. But few people really look up to him. After all, several other people were born in the 5 great ninja villages, only she was born in Taki Ninja Village. But now, her record makes everyone have to start to look up to her. Taki Ninja Village, 2 points. Next round, Iway and Murata. Magpie's opponent in this round is Iway and Village Ninja. Woman, I won't underestimate you like Yunren just now. So, your luck ends here. This rock ninja is obviously quite confident in his own strength, and he uttered nonsense to the magpie. Let me, Mr. Tien, come to end your myth. His breath is quite powerful, which also makes everyone agree with his statement. The others in Yenian Village kept cheering him on. But, as the saying goes, in the face of absolute power, everything is false. No, but can I actually lose? Tien Tai, who fought against K for only 3 minutes, was completely defeated by K and completely lost his combat effectiveness. Hi. This made other people who haven't ended up taking a deep breath. It seems that they still underestimate the magpie. Taki Ninja Village, 3 points. Tanasuke Konoha Village, come on stage. Konoha's people came on stage, but everyone has seen his results. In a minute. Taki Ninja Village, Magpie wins. The Magpie of Taki Ninja Village has won 3 games in a row. Like a proud peacock, her provocative gaze swept over everyone who had not yet played. Damn guy, don't be too arrogant. Yan Ren, many people were furious, and their faces were quite ugly. On Q's face, he almost didn't write the words, everyone here is garbage. Shajirching, Taki Ninja Village is determined to show it off, but it's okay, the next battle will be even more exciting. Tsuruki Sehikura, come on stage. The referee announced Q's next opponent, Saruki of Sandian Village. Please advise. Hexy from Sandian Village is a taciturn cold-faced handsome guy with a black gourd on his back. Hope you're as durable as those crap. At the beginning, the magpie rushed like a beast, and the terrifying chakra breath burst out on its fist. The people who lost consecutively in her hands were beaten by her fists. She seems to be enjoying it. In the face of the attacking magpie, she waved his hand, and several phantoms galloped out. In the face of the incoming attack, K whizzed and dodged, and when he reappeared, he was already close to the front. She shouted excitedly, "You are finished." Immediately, she was knocked out with a punch. Chapter 572 Strong in its own strong in the hand. Good. The people of Taki Ninja Village immediately applauded loudly. But Hexy, who was knocked out, turned into wood with a bang, just to stand in. The real Hexy appeared behind K and shouted, "Sand when rain." From the gourd behind him, a piece of black sand and iron came out, turned into a bullet-sized dumpling, and blasted away. Seeing this, the magpie quickly escaped. Boom. The power of this sand and iron bullet is really terrifying, and it can easily penetrate the walls of the arena, leaving potholes the size of a fist. What a terrifying power. The rest of the people couldn't help being taken aback. This destructive power is almost comparable to some Jonin. Hexy, is he really just a shinobi? Ha ha ha, what if the power is powerful? It can't hit me, it's a wild match after all. The magpie's reaction power and speed are quite fast, and the sand and iron bullets can't hit her at all, always one shot behind. She said with a mocking provocation, "Ninja in Sandian Village, you will soon be my defeat." An LT, P and GT. But she didn't see that the sand and iron bullets that smashed into the ground were gone. Really? Facing Q's provocation, Hexy showed a smile. Sand and Iron Realm, Needle Forest. Hexy quickly formed the seal, and chakra poured into the earth. Seeing this scene, Fujino Ryo and Anmura Nobuomi couldn't help saying at the same time, "Magpie of Taki Ninja Village, you are going to lose." Puff puff. Before everyone was surprised, a thorn-like iron sand forest suddenly burst out from under the magpie. The range was so large that K didn't even have a chance, and pierced through his entire body, inflicting heavy damage on her in an instant. Moreover, without giving the magpie a chance to break free, the two blades made of sand and iron pressed against her neck and back respectively. As long as she has any changes, she will die. Damn. Q's face twisted in pain. She didn't expect that she would lose like this. She is not reconciled. But in the end, remembering his captain's admonition to him, he had no choice but to accept his fate. Her captain warned her, "Don't reveal your identity as a person." Yes, magpies are human pillars, and this secret cannot be revealed. Otherwise, it will cause controversy and be detrimental to Taki Shinobi Village. Hexy, very good, I remember you. You are a formidable opponent. Magpie admit defeat. Taki Ninja Village 4 points. This result has already made Taki Ninja Village very satisfied. Using his own sand and iron to communicate with the underground sand and iron to create this absolute field, this guy is our rival. Anmura Nobumi looked at Hexy, her face dignified for the first time. Fujino Ling nodded in agreement. The rest of the people looked at Hexy and couldn't help but get serious. The magpie of Taki Ninja Village, even I have no certainty of winning, this Hexy is really strong. Darui thought very heavily in his heart. Kitu's eyes are also flickering, I don't know what I'm thinking. Delui from Union Village, come on stage. Hexy's opponent, it was Darui's turn immediately. Trouble, this is not an easy enemy to deal with. When Darui heard that he was playing so soon, he couldn't help scratching his head with a headache. Go. After the referee gave an order, Hexy waved his hand, and the sand and iron bullets the size of 6 fists flew out, bombarding Darui. Boom. Darui waved his sword to fight, but he only felt that his strength was invincible, and he was continuously forced to retreat. Sand iron manipulation. But in the face of Hexy, the power of any metal attack will be greatly reduced. Chapter 573 Darui, lose. Bang. The sword in Darui's hand that I saw was suddenly pulled towards Hexy by manipulation. If it wasn't for Darui's quick reaction and the evasion of the stand-in technique, he would have been hit hard by now. It's really desperately powerful. Not daring to use the knife again, Darui retreated again in the face of Hexy, who attacked again in front of him. For a time, there was no room for a counterattack, and he could only be forced to dodge. Seeing this scene, everyone in Union Village couldn't help but sink in their hearts. In the face of Hexy's endless sand and iron attacks, to be honest, without the speed and agility of Q's reaction, it is really dangerous. In just 2 minutes, Darui had been injured in 24 places. Blood loss, pain, and crisis make Darui's chakra quickly consumed. Moreover, whenever Darui wanted to use swordsmanship, Hexy could always react immediately and let his attack deviate from the target. He will also take the opportunity to launch all kinds of sand iron hidden weapons, and the persecuted Darui is even more embarrassed, and his injuries become more serious. In this case, Darui didn't even have time to think about countermeasures. And Hexy is not a frizzy person, and he is steady, which makes Darui very desperate. In addition to avoiding the attack in front of him, he also has to beware of the attack from the underground. Magpie is so powerful, it's not just one move to lose. Lay done gratitude wave. Finally, Darui, who found a chance to breathe, immediately launched an attack. On the ground, a violent thunder and lightning spread out, besieging Hexy. Darui wants to control Hexy's range of action. Sand and iron wings. But what made Darui desperate was that Hexy actually flew. Moreover, with a wave of his hand, a dense mass of sand and iron turned into a dark cloud, covering the entire arena. No, he must not be allowed to succeed. Seeing this scene, Darui's heart is cold. If this blow is hit, he will definitely lose. He quickly formed the seal, and an unprecedented powerful aura erupted from his body, land on black spot difference. A black thunder and lightning cheetah, roaring towards Hexy, was as fast as lightning, shocking. With this move, Darui took 30% of the chakra in an instant. He will not release it until it is necessary. Roar. Facing the thunder and lightning cheetah that was instantly thrown down in front of him, Hexy couldn't help shrinking his pupils, and hurriedly backed away. But thunderbolt, mysterious slash, cloud-flowing secret sword. Darui did not know when he rushed into the sky and appeared behind him. Immediately, the sharp knife wrapped in thunder and lightning ripped open his back and blasted him towards the thunder and lightning cheetah. This change was something no one had thought of, and no one would have thought that the battle situation would change so quickly. Everyone's eyes were on Hexy just now, and no one really noticed when Darui disappeared. Hexy. Everyone in Cheyenne Village looked at this scene and couldn't help crying out in shock. But right now, sand iron our hand. Darui, who was about to land, saw 2 black spikes that pierced his shoulder and pinned him to the ground. Then, 2 long needles pierced his palm again, making him lose the chance to seal the seal. I have to admire, Darui, you are really amazing. Use that powerful attack as a cover, but the real attack comes from you. But you believe too much in your own tricks, and you didn't notice that I have replaced the main body with a clone. Hexy fell to the ground, looking down at Darui from a height, intact. And the one who was struck by lightning, everyone looked at. It turned out to be just a sand and iron clone. Chapter 574 Everyone is so embarrassed. You lost. Hexy moved his index finger, and the kunai, who was nailed to the wall for Darui to use as a foot, rushed to the sky. At this moment, Hexy touched Darui's neck. Hi. Seeing this scene, everyone can't help but take a deep breath. No one would have imagined that Hexy would be so powerful, and a powerful figure like Darui would not be an opponent at all. Really, have you been toyed with in the first place? Darui sighed in frustration, feeling a deep sense of frustration. Thinking of him, Darui, although he is not a genius, he is still the leader character of the youth generation in Union Village, and is valued by Lord Raking. But now, he has lost so completely. It's a misstep. In this regard, Cheyenne Village has already scored 6 points, equaling Yunnan and Yannan. But everyone's heart is cold, especially Yun Ren. The most powerful Darui have been defeated. What hope do they have? Even the rock ninja can't help but feel a lot of pressure. Hexie's power is beyond their imagination. Taki Ninja Murato, come on. The referee announced that the next contestant would come on. I abstain. Magpie has lost to Hexie. Taki Shinobu doesn't think he can be more powerful than Magpie. Abstain directly. In this regard, Taki Ninja Village was eliminated, with a total score of 4 points. Cheyenne Village, 7 points, first place. Hexie of Sandian Village should be the most powerful ninja. I can't think of anyone else who can defeat him. The 2 of Konoha Village, I guess not too. Hexie is so powerful, I can't think of how to fight with their means. Everyone began to discuss, and their eyes swept over Nobuomi Anmura and Ryo Fujino from time to time. But almost everyone thinks that Hexie is the strongest person. Magpie is already strong enough. With one punch, the soil wall of Yenian Village can be shattered. Defeated by magpies. Darui is strong enough. The super strong Lei Dun attainments and extraordinary swordsmanship are obvious to all. It's not that Hexie is completely controlled by Hexie. Thinking that Hexie might just push it all the way, Xiaonan Village is better. Yun Ren, Yan Ren, these 2 great Renren villages can't help but feel sad. They think that their strength is not inferior to anyone else, and if they are finally crushed by the Cheyenne Village, known as a backcountry country, they have never been in their eyes, then they will really, long face. Even here in Konoha, many people are sighing. Sandian Village is going to come out on top this time. Our Konoha's results are really not very good. The implication is that I am not optimistic about the 2 of Anmura Nobuomi. No way, the 2 women didn't show their brilliance at all. Let everyone start to guess, the 2 women are probably only what they show, not as unfathomable as they thought before. Iwa Ninja Kitu, come on stage. Immediately after Taki Ninja Village, the hope of Iwahidam Village, Kitu came on stage. It can be seen that Kitu's face is very dignified. Fight, start soon. 2 Dun Yansu collapse. At the beginning of the game, Kitu shattered the ground of the arena, reaching a depth of more than 10 meters, blocking Hexie's idea of attacking from the ground. Moreover, the earthquake caused by the broken earth successfully forced Hexie into the sky, because there was no place for Hexie in the arena. Kaitu immediately released 2 Dun Tu Shillong and chased away. For a while, Hexie, who was chasing, could only retreat. At this scene, the rock ninjas who saw it suddenly cried out excitedly. Chapter 575 Please God, let someone stop him. It seems that the situation is not as bad as they thought. Kitu is still very powerful. Next, Kitu used several anti-air ninjutsu, such as flying stone bullets, rock stick formations, etc. One after another. Hexie, who was chasing one after another, could only dodge in embarrassment, and was completely powerless to fight back. This made Yan Ren even more excited, and the rest of the people couldn't help but look at Kitu in shock. They did not expect that Kitu was so powerful. But there is a saying, focus too much on one place, and other places will become the source of your failure. But for a minute, just when Kitu thought that Hexie was getting more and more flustered by him, and he had the upper hand. The broken earth under his feet suddenly blooms again. The attack that defeated the magpie before repeats it again. When it was almost time to respond to Kitu, it was defeated. Thank you for helping me shatter the ground, so that the high-quality sand and iron below can be used better for me. Hexie's words made Kitu want to vomit blood in depression. Dare to love that one-handed trick of his own, and also help his opponent. The result of such a quick transformation, not to mention that Yan Ninja didn't react, and the rest of the people didn't react either. But after reacting, the eyes they looked at Hexy were even more horrified. Now, who else can defeat Hexy? Sand Hidden Village, 8 points. The winning balance completely fell to Cheyenne Village. And then, Cowreen Village and Grass Ninja Village were eliminated one after another, with a score of 1 point. Sand Hidden Village has reached an unprecedented 10 points. Shajar Ching saw that in addition to the complacent look on Chio's face, the counted 3 generations looked better. Yun Ren's leader, that's really making his face crooked with anger. With such a big gap opened by Cheyenne Village, what face did they have to go back? They can't explain it to their respective shadows, and they can't explain it to the daimyo. Can't give an account, the consequences are very serious. Economic support will never be cut off, and there may even be riots. God Amaterasu, let's stop Tsuruhi from Sandian Village personally. Yun Ren, the leader of Yan Ren, all prayed in their hearts like this. At the same time, Hexy proposed to rest for half an hour to recover his strength. Half an hour later. The next game, Konoha Village Yasunami. As soon as the result of Tsuruhi's confrontation came out, Nobumi Yasunori became the focus of everyone. Do your best. Shajar Ching said this before Nobuomi Anmura came on stage. Hearing Shajar Ching's words, the hearts of other ninjas in Konoha Village sank. Listening to the meaning of Shajar Ching's words, Anmura Nobume is not a match for Hexy. But Nobuomi Anmura nodded heavily. What Shajar Ching said did not mean that Nobuomi Anmura couldn't beat Hexy. It means to let her stop hiding and tuck, and exert all her strength. You are strong. The moment Nobuomi Anmura entered the venue, Tsuruhi's face suddenly became extremely solemn. This made everyone a little surprised. You must know that Hizike had never shown such a look before. His expression has clearly told everyone. Nobuomi Yasunori, very strong. Go. The referee gave an order, and everyone saw a shuriken flashing coldly from Nobuomi Anmura's sleeve. The angle is extremely tricky, almost all fatal. Hexy didn't dare to be careless. He had seen Nobuomi Anmura's superb shuriken skills, and he hurriedly used the magnetic force to attract it. But everyone saw Anmura Nobumi suddenly forming the seal, and the speed was extremely terrifying. Chapter 576 Famous Teachers Produce Master Apprentices. No one saw what kind of seal she made at all, and they saw 5 vacuum jades spew out of her mouth at an extreme speed, blasting out of the air. Facing the vacuum jade in front of him, Hexy felt a strong sense of sharpness. There was no time to dodge, so I hurriedly summoned the iron sand and turned it into a shield to block in front of me. However, boom boom boom. The power of this vacuum jade is a bit beyond his imagination. His sand iron shield was smashed into several large pits, almost captured, and the whole person was forced to retreat several meters away. It's dangerous. Hexy couldn't help sighing, just about to fight back, but suddenly heard his teammates shout, "Be careful." What? She couldn't help being surprised, but he heard a sound of breaking the air behind him. The shuriken that he ignored was actually attacked by Anmura Nobumi with a steel wire and attacked him from both sides. The iron sand shield. In the face of the incoming shuriken, he immediately created a defense to protect his 2 sides. But while defending this move, he felt the danger. The sight of Anmura Nobuomi has actually appeared in front of him, and a sharp 1,000 books attacked him again. What a quick body instant. Everyone around couldn't help but marvel at the speed of Anmura Nobuomi. This doesn't seem like the speed that a Jinin should have. Even some Jonin may not have such a fast speed. To actually fight me in close quarters, it's really self-defeating. But in the face of Anmura Nobuomi who was in front of him, a smile suddenly appeared on the corner of Hexy's mouth. Sand iron our hand. At the moment when the words fell, a dense long needle of sand and iron was like a torrential rain. It was so fast that no one could react, and it was about to shoot through Nobume Yasun's body. It's too late, it looks like I'm still going to lose. Nobumi Yasumura is still in a hurry. Yeah, there may still be a chance to keep going, but now everyone around can't bear to see all this. In their imaginations, Nobuomi Yasunori was going to lose. Even if he barely escaped, he had already fallen into the rhythm of Hexy. However, the only thing they won't think of is wind escape gale palm. Anmura Nobume actually used ninjutsu, pushing her palms and blasting a gust of wind, blowing all the long sand and iron needles back. Hexy couldn't help shrinking his pupils, and subconsciously moved the iron sand shield on the side to block him. Boom! The wind was so strong that the entire arena rumbled and BB burst. This made the leaders of the villages all surprised. It's such a strong level of concentration, it's almost as powerful as shinobi. Moreover, chakra's control is just right, there is no waste at all, but it achieves the effect of getting twice the result with half the effort. This level, even if they themselves, can only be able to do it, or even worse. Now, Anmura Nobume actually did it, it's a little scary. When they looked again, they couldn't help but be shocked again. On the right side of Crane Shi, who was blown back by the strong wind, Nobuomi Yasunori appeared again, and a dense mass of thousands of books flew out. Damn! Faced with this situation, Hexy couldn't help but grit his teeth and said with great pressure. Anmura Nobuomi is just too powerful, a little bit beyond his expectations. However, don't think I'm so poor. Sand and Iron Realm Sand Explosion Thorns. From his right body, a thick iron thorn flew out. As soon as she was approaching Anmura Nobuomi, she pierced through her body before she could react. Chapter 577 Still going to lose. What a quick avatar. Seeing this scene, Hexy didn't have the slightest joy on his face, and he didn't feel like he had hit the entity. The next moment, Anmura Nobuomi turned into a stand in wood with a bang, and there were two burning detonating talismans attached to it. She couldn't help shrinking his pupils and quickly retreated. Wind escape vacuum jade. But behind him, Anmura Nobuomi's voice and the wind bullet that made his scalp tingle came again. Whoosh whoosh. Hexy's reaction speed is absolutely top-notch, and he has flashed through so many powerful and tricky wind bullets. Sand when it rains. He knew that if he continued, Nobuomi Anmura might continue to break out some strange attacks. Therefore, he intends to end the battle quickly. A piece of sand and iron bullet the size of a ball roared towards Anmura Nobuomi. The power of this blow, even the team leaders watching the battle on the stage were secretly shocked. Can Nobuomi Yasunori be able to stop it? They thought in their hearts. Obviously, they don't have much confidence. Shish. But what is shocking again is that, in the face of such a terrifying attack, Nobuomi Yasunori managed to dodge it completely with the blinking technique. This. Everyone saw horror in each other's eyes. Hey, it's a hit, Nobuomi Yasunori. But Hexy suddenly laughed. Looking at Nobuomi Yasunori who was frantically switching between the walls of the arena and the ground, he said, even if you have a very strong control over chakra, you can't defeat me without the bloodline limit. It's over. Hexy held his right hand and said rather slyly, Sand and Iron Realm Law Needle Forest. The next moment, just after the end of the Sand Shiu's attack, the heart-pounding spikes emerged from the ground again. Alas, are you going to lose after all? Seeing this move, everyone couldn't help shaking their heads. This move, even they are difficult to deal with, they do not believe that Anmura Nobuomi can fight. Wind escape vacuum jade. But the calm voice of Anmura Nobuomi suddenly came again. They couldn't help but look. Anmura Nobuomi, who they saw, was flexibly dodging from the pursuit of the spikes. And, finished the handprint. Bang! A group of extremely condensed huge wind bombs roared out of the air, shattering the dense sand and iron spikes, and arrived in front of Hexy. Wherever he went, the earth exploded. How is that possible? Hexy couldn't help but take a deep breath when she saw this scene. This was the first time that someone of his generation could deal with this move head-on, so he quickly defended. The strongest defense, Luo Sheng Shield. A ball of extremely condensed sand iron directly rapped Hexy. The wind bomb slammed into the sand and iron shield, and the sound exploded, shaking the entire arena, but it was not able to damage the sand and iron shield for half a point. The strongest defense is evident. Sand and Iron Realm, Sand and Iron Strike. Without giving Anmuranobumi a chance to rest, the various sand and iron scattered on the ground attacked Anmuranobumi again. But this time, the always agile Anmuranobumi was bruised. Everyone couldn't help but look, but when they saw her panting and dodging, everyone couldn't help but react immediately. Anmuranobume's chakra is almost exhausted. Victory is mine in the end. Hexy, who felt this scene, was ecstatic. Let me tell you what despair is. He is not short of chakra, and he has more chakra than many Junin. Chapter 578. Pay at your own risk. But Anmuranobumi is very embarrassed. Even when she was dodging, she still released her shuriken and fought back, but she couldn't break Hexy's defense at all. The final victory, in the end, seems to belong to Hexy. Everyone thinks so. Anmuranobumi is at a disadvantage, and it is difficult to reverse the situation. It's over. Fujino Ling suddenly sighed like this, and everyone couldn't help but sigh heavily. They thought that Fujino Ryo said that Yasunobumi was going to lose. But, boom! The sound of a smoke explosion could not help attracting their attention. However, Anmuranobumi appeared in front of Hexy, and an energy ball with a humming sound appeared in his hand. And Hexy, looking at Nobumi Anmura who appeared in front of him, couldn't help smiling proudly. Even if you use the transformation technique to get yourself close to me, what's the use? You can't break my defense. Before he could finish speaking, he heard a click, and the iron sand shield actually shattered into a big hole. The energy ball in Anmuranobumu's hand stopped an inch in front of Hexy's chest. You lost. Yasunobumi looked at Tsuruhi and said. Looking at the cold energy ball on his chest, and then at the bright eyes and restrained breath of Anmuranobumi. Where is there any sign of insufficient chakra just now? You pretend to be insufficient in chakra, let me relax my vigilance. Hexy reacted immediately and said angrily. Hearing this, Nobuomi Yasunori asked irrefutably, why, can't you? Hexy was speechless. How could it not be possible? After all, this is also a kind of tactics. Your strength is indeed the strongest in my history. I'm afraid even the newly promoted Jonin may not necessarily be your opponent, and you will eventually be consumed by you. But, speaking of this, Anmuranobumu's mouth was Isho. I'm not bad, I've played against several Shinjin, and I defeated them myself. As for chakra, my chakra is not as good as yours. But the strength is not strong, not much with chakrado, there is no absolutely proportional relationship, isn't it? Nobuomi Anmura dispersed the energy ball, then, looking at the others on the stage, she said, next. At this moment, Anmuranobumi is really hockey. I actually won Tsuruki. Is this the strength of Nobumi Yasunori? It's terrifying. Konoha Ninja looked at Anmuranobumi in shock. The strength of Anmuranobumi, to put it bluntly, it is no problem to easily crush them. That last move, what is it? It can break through Hexy's strongest defense. The people of Cheyenne village were even more astonished. Hexy is the strongest defense, but it can withstand the attack of the Junin without breaking the trump card. It was broken like that by Anmuranobumi, and Anmuranobumi is too strong. Don't you need to take a break? The referee reminded Yasunobumi to start the next game. No, none of the rest deserves my rest. Besides, Anmuranobumi glanced at Fujino Ryo. I still have a partner who didn't play, it's not a concern. Nobumi Anmura's words are really arrogant, and he doesn't care about the rest of the people at all. Immediately, the other ninjas in the ninja village were not happy. Arrogant guy, let me see your strength. Anmuranobume's next opponent is still Sandian village, whose name is Denjiro. Chapter 579 Invincible. Come on. Nobuomi Anmura hooked at him, indicating that he can start. Arrogant woman, look at my power. Denjiro shouted, and a piece of hidden weapons flew out. The labor and management are the most powerful hidden weapons masters in the Sandy Inn village, enlighten me. Wind escaped gale palm. Nobuomi Yasun took a long breath, and then, a gust of wind was blowing out that disrupted the air, and all the hidden weapons were swept back. That Denjiro was suddenly stabbed into a hedgehog, and was smashed against the wall by the wind, and a large human-shaped seal was printed. So far, Konoha village has 7 points. Next, Anmura Nobuomi said again, with a relaxed expression. Referee, Iwagakura Tsukuchi, come on stage. Then, the battle begins. Tu Dun Tu Liao, he started by adding a hard armor to himself. Then, he rushed like a tyrannosaur and shouted, I won't take you lightly like a idiot like Hexy. Then, wind escape vacuum jade. 6 consecutive air bombs slammed Tongji into the wall heavily, and easily broke his defense. Hi. Seeing this scene, everyone can't help but take a deep breath. Anmura Nobume, this is really too powerful. Konoha village, 8 points. Next, Yunren, Yu-Ren, and Tang-Ren, 3 people from the ninja village, played one after another, but without exception, they all lost. No one has survived 10 moves in the hands of Anmura Nobume, and Anmura Nobume was crushed all the way. Looking at the 3 generations of Hokage in this scene, it is a beauty in my heart. Their Konoha has already scored 11 points, and they come out on top, and their faces can be said to be full of face. The next game, Ryota Iwahidamura. The referee continues to announce Yasun's next opponent. However, Nobume Anmura suddenly raised her hand and said, I have no more chakra, let my teammates take over for me to continue fighting. Saying that, she looked at Fujino Ling, who gave her a thumbs up, and after watching it for so long, it was finally her turn to play. Damn, you look down on me. Iwagakura Ryota, who was about to play, slapped the handrail angrily. How dare Nobume Anmura ignore him so much and let Ryo Fujino fight instead of her? Did he think that Fujino Ling would definitely be able to defeat him? What a joke. The leader of Iwayan village's face is also a little unsightly. Anmura Nobume is too arrogant. Sister Shinmei, look at me next. Rei Fujino and Nobume Yasura came to the court to look at Isho. Then, she looked at Ryota of Yenian village, ninja of Yenian village, don't be too weak, otherwise, it will be boring. Giggle. Liang Tai suddenly clenched his fists angrily. He swore that he would make Fujino Ling look good later. Go. After the referee gave an order, the Liang Tai rushed over and shouted, Damn woman, watch me beat you. He was tall, and he punched Fujino Ling with one punch, and the air was roaring loudly. Imagine how powerful he is. However, Fujino Ling stepped back, his hands quickly formed a seal and said, Water escape fog hidden technique. Immediately, an extremely thick fog enveloped the arena. Ryota immediately went into martial law, and used the Sword of Earth Spear, to bless the defense. He has lost the trace of Fujino Ling in front of him. Water escape water cut. Ryota's voice came from Fujino Ling again. Then, he saw a shadow in front of him, raising his leg and drawing several water blades to break through the air. Chapter 580 You can't talk too much, it's easy to be slapped in the face. Woman, let you see how powerful the soldiers of Yenian village are. He even punched and attacked. Not to mention, all the water blades were smashed by him. He couldn't help but say proudly, Why, woman, do you only hide and seek, don't you even have the courage to fight me head on? Giggle, I'm not going to fight head to head with a dummy like you. Ryo Fujino's joking voice came again, but this made Ryota even more angry. Damn it, I must make you pay. Ryo Tai roared, and the breath on his body suddenly became quite heavy. After all, the person who passed the second round is very strong. But, hey. Suddenly there was a sound of breaking through the air in Ryo Tai's ear. He completely ignored it, and re-shot it on the ground. He was hit on the waist immediately, but it didn't hurt his fur at all. HMPH, Stupid guy, with this three-legged cat kung fu, he can't even break my defense, and he wants to beat me. Liang Tai can't help but snorted in disdain. Shish. There were several voices breaking through the air, and Liang Taiquan waved his hand and blocked it. What, is this a waste of skills? Just in time, the fog has cleared, and your end has come. Ryota looked at the mist that had dissipated all of a sudden, and immediately smiled proudly, but her eyes suddenly became extremely fierce. Yeah, the end is here, Fujino Ling's voice came over at this time. But it's your end. After the fog cleared, everyone gasped in shock, and the leader of Yenian village couldn't help but shrink his pupils. Ryotai was surrounded by a piece of steel wire, and on the steel wire, there was a dense explosion of detonating talismans. Moreover, there are 2 detonating talismans attached to his waist. Fujino Ling is maintaining the handprint of the detonation of the knot. With just one thought, Ryotai will die without a place to be buried. Big man, you lost. Fujino Ling looked at the unbelievable Ryota and said with great pride. But evil, Ryotai felt extremely aggrieved and angry. He actually lost to a bitch in less than a minute. It left him with no light on his face. Good job. Yasun Nobume will also shout out aloud for a week. My strength, although not as good as Sister Shinmei, is more than enough to deal with you. Fujino Ling looked at Ryota, who was so angry that she could not wait to eat her, said proudly and calmly. Damn. Liang Tai resigned unwillingly. Konoha Village 12 points. 3 generations of Hokage smile even brighter. The rest of the people couldn't help but look at Fujino Ling in shock. Although I thought that her strength would be strong, I didn't expect it to be so strong. What a strong water escape ninjutsu. I don't know who said this with emotion. The rest of the people were immediately convinced. The next game, Kazama in Sandian Village. The referee announced the opponent of Fujino Ryo's next game. Kazama is a somewhat thin boy with long brown hair. Please advise. He was quite polite. But after the battle started, he seemed to have changed as a person, and the ninjutsu released quite violently. He is also a wind-type ninja, and with all kinds of attacks, Fujino Ling is almost breathless. Everyone couldn't help but look at the wind room in surprise. This wind room has quite good strength. It's a pity that he met Fujino Ling. Water escape water cutting technique. Ryo Fujino moves around the field like ice skating. When dodging Kazama's attack, the water blade she released really made Fengjian suffer.